dog. And German Shepherd.
Oh yeah, dude.
Drogon.
His name Drogon.
Yeah.
They got the Game of Thrones shit going on or something.
Hell yeah, man.
Fuck yeah,
he's
dude.
big like Drogon, man. He's huge.
That's fucking legendary.
He's a sweetheart, man. All right, yeah. Whenever you're ready.
All right. What's up, everybody? It's Brandon from Box Office Banner and Cult Flick Symposium here with Derek. I think we're going to release this on both fucking channels. If you've seen already on my personal channel, Box Office Banner, I've done the whole first round with my brother of this bracket that I came up with. And then Derek was originally supposed to be on all of them. He probably can be on them going forward the rest of the way, or at least he's going to be on the second round. That's the video we're doing today. And I think he's going to throw the other first round up on our Cult Flick Symposium channel. But instead of doing it, region by region, like we did in the first round, since it's a little more shorter, a little more condensed, we're just going to tackle the whole second round, barring my camera not going out and going black, because it was originally the plan on the first series of but bracket I did with my brother. But it ended up actually working out. It's like a blessing in disguise because they were like 30-minute videos. Nobody wants to sit there for like a 2-hour video. We can break them up, make it a little more fun. But I think this one will be a good little sweet spot. The rest of the way, we can do a whole fucking round from second round to Sweet 16, Elite 8, Final 4, and then the final. We'll probably combine Final 4 with the final matchup to make it interesting. But yeah, so here we go, man. I haven't done on this video because I didn't want to be too repetitive with it, but I've filled Derek in on everything that won. So he's up to speed. Hopefully y'all are up to speed. Without further ado, let's start the second round of this fucking ultimate horror franchise bracket, man.
Man, I love it. Yeah, I wish I could have been there for part one, but
you were supposed to. I can't remember what the fuck happened.
Was it Father's Day? It was something around like it was a busy weekend, Father's Day weekend type thing, and I was out longer than I thought I was going to be, so I had to hit you up. I was like, man, I'm not going to make it to this one. I was bummed too. I was telling Harley, I was like, man, we were going to do a sweet video tonight, but I couldn't make it. But yeah, I'm excited to get this one going. I know if you guys haven't checked out the first part of the video yet, like he said, it's going to be on this channel. It's on Box Office Banner. It's I'm going to link it above. And make sure you check that one out first if you haven't. I know there's some controversial decisions in there, but hey, what does controversial mean? Why is choosing what you like controversial? It's not. We're going to do that today. Stick around.
Amen. In your Arnold voice. Stick around.
Stick around.
Yes. All right, man. So the 1 seed that advanced from the last round, Halloween, the OG.
No, it's like 79, 78,
78.
Yeah, 78. I knew it was an 8.
Yeah. 8 something.
68. Wow.
I was about to say that's actually a good segue because it's the 8th seed it's facing, but it's not because the 9th seed upset the 8th seed, which of course isn't a crazy upset. But that 9th seed that advanced to fight, I guess you could call it fight. I mean, they're not
this is the
movie
brawl.
titles, just boom, boom, boom. Is Evil Dead 2013.
Oh no.
Going up against Halloween, the original. Oh no, is right. I don't like the sound of that, Derek. Is there something on your mind here that like we should know about? If we about to piss more people off? What's happening?
I think when we get to it, I'll say it. Yeah. So how do you want to open this up? How do you want to do this?
I mean, I can go open it up. For me, Evil Dead 2013 on Box Office Banner. I've admitted my love for this movie. My love grows for this movie. Mia, amazing final girl character, which didn't really get to really have her do as a final girl because she's fucking like possessed the whole fucking movie. And then you get her for like a second. It'd be amazing to branch out and have her in other movies.
Yes.
But you knew it was coming. Overall, we're talking about Halloween 1978. OG Michael Myers. I cannot do this here. I've had my just flurry of controversial opinions so far, but I'm not going to do it here. But luckily, we have Derek here, who's also quite controversial. I think there's a reason why he let us off with that. So just like my brother, this friend brother is going to probably piss some people off, much like I will. I guarantee it as well. But I'm not going to do it here. I'm going Halloween. Are you pissing people off? Is that what's about to go down?
So I don't know why we opened with this one. You did this to me on purpose. No,
it sounds like you are.
I will say that It's been a while since we did our Halloween franchise
Oh my
ranking
god.
video
Yeah,
that we
we did
did.
that like 2 years ago, I think
It's
now.
been a
Jesus.
hot minute.
A
But what
hot minute.
in the 78 Halloween film is high up there. It's I don't believe it's number one on there. I'll have to look and I'd have to go back to see if it still is, if it was, blah, blah, blah. Great horror film. Jamie Lee Curtis establishes herself for the
Oh, yeah.
first time in the series and just holds her own throughout the entire changes of the franchise that it went through. Jamie Lee Curtis is constantly adapting and playing a new role according to whatever retcons they had to do and things like that. So, as far as horror movie icons and just a classic film in general, it's hard to beat 1978's Halloween. But this it just so happened to get pitted up against what is my absolute favorite horror movie of all time, which
Oh
is
no.
2013's The Evil Dead remake.
Oh no.
So whenever people, and I'll tell you this, so it's funny because anytime anybody asks me what my favorite horror movie is, I can never think of it. But once I do, the answer I always give is 2013's remake of The Evil Dead. As an adult, it's the for a movie that I saw in theaters as a full grown man, right? So like I say that I was 21 maybe or something like that, but
Yeah.
it was the only movie I can think of to date that since I was like out of high school age that kind of scared me. It kind of unnerved me. The scene
Really?
she pops up out of the cellar and she's like, "Don't cut it off, bitch! Don't cut it
Nah,
off!"
don't cut it off. No, no.
Yo, that I mean, I was in the theaters like, "Oh shit!" So
Jesus.
I mean, it's as tough as it is, and as controversial as we're already getting. That's way too easy of a decision for me, or more so than it should be, because it would have beaten literally any horror movie out for me.
Man,
Um,
probably.
but it is close. It is close. I mean, we're talking 1978's Halloween is probably like a 9.1 for me. And then
Mhm.
the Evil Dead remake is probably like a 9.5. So I mean, you're talking really close, but it does edge it out by just a little bit. And now we're already gonna have to phone a friend.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we got IMDb first,
Oh,
unless you
perfect.
want to phone a friend.
No, this is good because I don't even know if the friend I was gonna phone has seen the Evil Dead remake. So
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't even know who to fucking phone. All my friends are like dads and shit, and so am I. So it's
they're
just
asleep
like,
right now,
yeah,
bro.
but I stay up like an idiot still and drink beer and just pay for it in the morning.
That's right.
Uh, there it is, dog. Yeah. But as we probably expected from IMDb, Halloween is going to move on because it's a
Yes. Fair enough.
7.7 out of 10, and Evil Dead 2013 is a 6.5. So
Fair
I'm
enough.
sorry to do that to you, Derek, which
You know what?
actually, in a weird way, man, might work to its benefit. Because in a weird way, because I've thought about this when I'm talking about it, like talking about certain movies, but you can almost kind of fuck up shit. Because by you saying right there that Evil Dead 2013 is your favorite movie, horror movie ever, as an audience, you're just like, okay, so
It's gonna
anytime this
win every
movie's
time.
up, he's gonna win. So this adds a little more of the suspense. I'm almost kind of glad it's gone.
Me
But
too. You know,
also,
I agree with that. It takes pressure off of me
yeah.
to make any more controversial decisions, and at the
Mhm.
same time, moving forward, like you said, it's the only
Yeah.
one that would have for sure beaten all the others. So we get that out of
Yeah.
here, and now we can move forward clean slate.
Yeah. But in a way too, I was like, if it does somehow advance and IMDb is just on some drugs today, uh, like we probably are. No. It's almost would be fun though too, like for like just a viewer to have like a pit in their stomach, like, oh fuck, it's Evil Dead. We know exactly what Derek's triggering. Shit, no,
Yeah,
don't do it. Like every time it
this
comes
goes
to it,
against every single classic, and I'm like, well,
yeah. Like, God damn it, I know it's gonna come. He's already said it's the fucking best fucking horror movie ever. Yeah, either way though, it'll keep the suspense in motion now that it's gone. So Halloween moves on. It's got
good.
a
It deserves
safe spot in that Sweet 16. Now we move on to another upset that happened last round. Season of the Witch, the 12 seed moved on, and it's going up against Friday the 13th, part 2.
Oh boy.
Yikes. Fuck. I am absolutely in love with both of these movies.
Uh-huh.
Pass. You go first. I
Okay.
went first last time, so I'm gonna use that as an excuse.
All right. Dang it. Okay, so Season of the Witch. I'm with you. I think we talked about this. It's kind of middle of the road for me in terms of the Halloween franchise. But
Yeah.
it's underrated. I think a lot of people get too mad at the fact that Michael Myers doesn't really make an appearance.
No.
Doesn't he make like a TV cameo
Yeah,
appearance?
it's like they fucking
Yeah,
put like the night he came home on a
yeah,
TV from like the first movie or some shit when he's coming down the steps. Nothing special there. It's not like he's actually in the movie. It's just a cool little nod. But
exactly.
yes, you're exactly right. Yeah.
So I like the direction they went with it in this part because if you look at all the other horror movie franchises, I'll try to keep this pretty short, but they keep going in the same direction that they had been going and just getting crazier and crazier and crazier. Now, Halloween does eventually do that, but it always has been a little bit better about trying to change the narrative, trying to change the backstory, trying to change what makes Michael Myers tick. Does he have powers? Is he real? Is he not? They kind of always tease that on and off, and I've been a big fan of that.
Yeah.
So, you have your 1978's movie. It's a hit. It's great. It's one of the first, other than Black Christmas, one of the first like main slasher movies that hit theaters and was successful.
Yeah.
And then you have the second part, which completely changes the narrative from the first one. And then she's his sister all of a sudden. And
Yeah.
then you have the third one, and they're like, you know what? Fuck both those people. We're going to have some haunted masks. And that's why Michael Myers, you can assume that that's why Michael was crazy because he put on one of these, like maybe some mask that was fucked up or something.
Right.
So they give you all these things to think about. Then they move on to the fourth one. It's completely different again. So I really love the way that they do that and the way that they tease you and make you think different theories could be true. And it's really well done. The lead in this, I forget his name, but he's hit and miss throughout the movie in his performance. But when he hits, he hits.
Tom Atkins.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
When
The
he
man.
hits, it's good. It's
I
on
love
and
him.
off, but he's great in the dramatic scenes, man. It's just perfect classic 80s horror. And so yeah, this is gonna be a pretty tough one for me too.
Mm.
Dang it. Okay, let's see.
I know which one I'm doing. You
Oh
gave me
God.
time. I had time to think about it. I'm going Friday the 13th Part 2. I'm a fucking stickler for Season of the Witch, man. I fucking love it. Pretty much adore it, but I also adore Friday the 13th. And I like the franchise of Friday the 13th a little more. And yeah, I mean, I don't want to give away ratings because then maybe you can kind of like decipher shit going forward. But like Friday the 13th Part 2 is high up there for me. I mean, this is just a tough matchup, but I got to go with Sackhead Jason. That's what I'm rolling with.
Yeah, it's hard to
It
go
hurts
against
me.
Sackhead Jason. He's actually
It hurts me,
Sackhead
man.
Jason is actually my favorite form of Jason. Not because of the
Yeah, I think I
sackhead.
remember you saying that.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily because of the look at all. It's
It's
just
the
because of the
build and
mentality, the
shit.
build. Yeah. Oh God. Yeah, I'm gonna go Friday the 13th Part 2 as well. Season of the Witch, underrated.
Nice. Oh,
Friday
yeah, I
the
wanted it
13th
to go
Part
so
2.
far, dude.
Dude, yeah, and Friday the 13th Part 2 is not overrated, so that it gets its due, diligence. So
Mhm.
that kind of makes it hard for me to choose it because I'm always an underdog kind of person anyway. It's kind of in my nature. But
Yeah,
I mean, I've
same.
got to be realistic with myself. And when I look at these movies side by side, I think it's a pretty easy choice for me. If I have to go back and watch one of these, it's going to be Friday the 13th Part 2 every time.
No, I get that 100%. And Friday would have took the tiebreaker. It was 6.1 compared to a 5.1 for Season of the Witch.
Yeah, I know the Season of the Witch did really bad critically and with most audiences. And I get it maybe at that time, but I think now as people go back and watch it, they're going to appreciate it more and more, which is what I've seen with that movie. Like I said, with a lot of the Bond films, a lot of these old horror films, a lot of people are going back and watching classic ones like Dream Warriors that got beat out
Yeah,
and not loving it as much as they used to.
yeah.
So opinions are changing because the way that people want to interpret art and the way it's being made is changing. So it's you're going to see things like that flip where things like Season of the Witch, movies like that did really poorly at the time might start to get that resurgence. Might start to get a little bit more love.
Oh, yeah. Time changes things for sure. So now we have the 6 seed, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, going up against the 3 seed, the original Child's Play.
Okay, so we're talking Child's Play, the first one, versus the 2003 Texas Chainsaw.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, Woo!
Let's get
God dang.
controversial. I'm going Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, and I absolutely love the original Child's Play. There's a reason why Chucky's right there. Woo! That is a game changer. Changed my life when I was a kid. But if you know me, I love the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. It's another level of love. So I'm going TCM remake. I don't know what you got though.
Okay. This is a really tough one for me, man. I'm not gonna lie. This might be the hardest one yet, and it's not because either one of them are my absolute favorites, but it's because they're both so different.
Yeah.
So you got your Child's Play, right? So if we were just gonna go strictly off of which character I like more, Chucky or Leatherface, I'm a
Mm-hmm.
Chucky guy. I love Chucky.
Yeah.
He's probably my favorite out of all the horror movie icons. Him and Leprechaun. Something about those little guys, man. They
The
get
little
me,
guys get it.
scare the shit out of me. So you got Chucky in his first his first appearance. It's great. Is it the best Chucky movie? No, right? So then you got Texas Chainsaw Massacre, remake 2003 with Jessica
Yes,
Biel,
sir.
and it's this is one of those movies that I love and I hate. And we talked about this one too.
Yeah,
We ranked
I
these.
remember that much.
I love the brutality. I love the settings of this movie and the way it's filmed. In terms of like the cinematography, the way Leatherface makes his entrance. Oh my god, dude! I get freaking chills every time he busts that door, like he did in the original. But it's just so much more brutal, And so, oh god, so tough. The only thing that, and this is not my answer yet, but this is just continuing on Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The only thing that holds me back from it is actually something that I thought would have been one of my favorite things. The guy that plays the sheriff, the Marine, the guy from
Oh
Full
yeah,
Metal Jacket. I hate him in this role, man.
yeah.
I mean,
You told me that Arlie
I
Ermy.
don't
I
know
think he's
why, man.
amazing. I
I
love
think
him.
he's. I think it's just because he's a little bit too much for me, a little bit
Mhm.
too over the top, and I get that. I've seen all the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies. I've
Yeah,
seen the second and third ones. I get what they're going for, right? I get that craziness, but this guy, regardless of the fact if he's in this bumfuck town, a part of this family, whatever, he's still a sheriff. He still had to get his job. He still has to maintain communications with other departments, with
well,
people of this town.
he doesn't though, because in the beginning, if you remember Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the beginning, he killed like the one law enforcement guy, and he becomes the whole law enforcement.
I forgot about that. I forgot that they made those two movies side by
Yeah, yeah,
side,
yeah.
man. Okay, so that does void some of my point. I
It's
guess
easier to forget because
it's
I mean, there's
it
only a
is.
couple of them, and then you ain't watched it a couple of years without knowing. You're like, "Fuck, that's right."
Those two movies mixed together
You know
for
what?
me a
He
lot
just
too.
fucking sucks. I hate him. You have like one of those responses, like "fuck him."
I
That's all I
I
care
think
about.
it's just I think there's just something about that character. And I love him. I love
I
him. There's
remember
just
this
something about
now.
that
Like at
character.
first, I was like caught off guard for half a second. I was like, "No," I was like, "He said the same thing last time," and I was really surprised. That's why I'm like not as surprised. I was initially like, "What the?" I'm like, "No, I've
Yeah,
heard this before." He didn't, and it
there's
really
something
shocked
about
me
it,
last time.
man. There's just
No,
something about the way that he ends up
I get
with
it.
like that whole scene in like the van and everything where he's like got him at gunpoint. I don't like that scene,
I
and
think you were saying like it just wasn't believable.
there was
Like
something
that
just
they would
there's
that
a
the
lot.
people would fucking go along with it. Like, is this guy not
Yes,
fucking losing it? I think that that's what you were
yeah.
saying last time. Unless
The
there's someone
people,
else's opinion that was
yeah.
similar.
No, that was me. That was me. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just something about that scene. It throws me off of the character and it throws me off of the movie a little bit.
comes
But
out.
again, I'm gonna try to keep this simple. I know we got a lot to do, and I end up rambling a lot of times. But if
Oh, that's
we
good.
but like if I had to judge these movies, these picks, all these classics, I love all these movies we're gonna talk about today. I think I
Yeah,
probably love them all. Like actually
pretty
love them.
much. There's
So yeah, we
probably
might
like
do
some
two.
duds, but once you get to the second round, there's
Yeah.
not many duds that are pitted against each other. So
Yeah, so it's gonna be a tough decision from here on out. So I'm gonna base them off of like when you say the category or the matchup. I'm just gonna say which one I would rather watch more, and so I got to go with Texas Chainsaw Massacre the remake.
whoa, TCM moves on.
Yeah, man, there's
Wow.
what it comes down to. Why it wins is just the way it looks and the sheer violence of it. And the
surprised actually.
yeah, I know you wouldn't expect that one, dude. It was tough.
I
I thought
almost don't want it to move on, even though that's what I wanted to move on in some weird way. How that works, it would have lost too because the original Child's Play is a 6.6 and TCM remake was 6.2. So
ooh, that's close, man.
it would have been fucked.
Yeah, there's just something. There's
Alright,
something about the way it
damn.
looks. It's entertaining. It's a
Oh
lot more
yeah, dude.
entertaining.
It's got this just gross, gritty feel to it that I
Yes,
love.
I do love that, man. I
This
love it.
next one's cut and fucking dry for me. I know that much.
Ooh,
Compared to the other ones that have happened, this is easily the easiest one for me.
lay it on me, baby.
Last one of the region. You got the Child's Play remake. That was an upset pick as a 10 seed last round, going up against
That's
the
with
2
Aubrey Plaza,
seed.
right?
Going
Okay.
up against the 2 seed Evil Dead 2.
Okay.
And I don't even really have much to say here. Child's Play remake. I have a lot of problems with it, but it was still fun and serviceable. It did
I liked
some
it.
really good things at times. Aubrey Plaza's a motherfucking queen, bitch.
Yes.
And Chucky, despite all his weird fucking quirks and shit and the way he looks, is still entertaining and oddly almost heartwarming where you feel bad for him at times. It's a cool flip on the franchise. You're gonna make a remake, do something different.
I
But
agree.
Evil Dead 2
100%.
is a motherfucking classic, bro. I cannot do this here. And it's a classic I obviously respect because there's been other classics. I've been like, I'm not saying that. I'm not coming with oh, it's a motherfucking classic, obviously, because there's been a couple times at least now where I'm like, it's a classic, but get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I'm
it
not gonna do
happens.
that here. Evil Dead 2 holds up for me in spades. Oh God, I'm already dreading that next round if it goes. But we'll see what you say.
Okay.
Dun-dun-dun.
Well, yeah, same answer.
He's like, you know
Same
what?
answer.
Yeah,
It's easy.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I love the Child's Play remake, and we talked about
I
that.
think I
Because
remember you telling me that, and that kind
yeah,
of shocked me a little bit too.
the things that
It's all coming
we've
back.
gone through a lot of these franchises and everything. So you know how I feel a lot about like the individual movies and stuff. But this
Yeah.
remake, I thought the acting was really good, which
Yeah.
was from the kid and from Aubrey Plaza.
The main
So
kid did do good. Liked him a
he
lot.
did
He
good.
carried it too.
And it's like you said, I was expecting a Child's Play Chucky remake. And what I got instead was a reimagining, which is what I would prefer almost 99% of the time.
Always.
Because
Well,
Child's Play does not need a remake yet.
you won't
Maybe,
do it as well. You just won't.
yeah, I mean, you're not going to capture that creepy 80s robotic, movement
Yeah.
that you got in Chucky. There's things that are creepier because they're in the 80s. You can see that's why they get goofier with these characters, like Cult of Chucky, Curse of Chucky. I love those movies, but they have to get darker in the dark scenes and lighter in the light scenes in order to keep it working. So it goes from like this, kind of gradual climb type of movie to the movies going like this.
Yeah.
And so I was
Add some
excited that this
levity.
movie. Exactly. I was excited this movie didn't do that. I thought that and the way that they changed it. I mean, spoilers for those of you who haven't seen a years old movie yet, but
It's old enough.
the way that they changed it in the fact that he doesn't have a soul, he's not the serial killer, but they are these malfunctioning robots, these children's dolls. It made it, one, more realistic. Two, it allowed the human characters to shine more in the relationships that they have and how they struggle against this. That came out a lot better in this than just I'm screaming because a doll's talking, type of thing. And so I really appreciate it. Does it beat Child's Play? Does it beat all these other, classic top tier Chucky movies? I don't know. You're going to have to see or go check out our old video. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is I am glad that they went the route they did at the time they did. It was underrated at the time. I think it's still underrated, but I think this will grow into a cult classic eventually. I mean, I think it will be a big cult classic someday. If it resurfaces and gets the right crowd, I think this one could really blow up someday. But you're talking about Ash getting a chainsaw arm.
Yeah.
And establishing a franchise. I mean, you had The Evil Dead, great movie, fantastic, one of the best horror movies ever made.
No
Lower
doubt.
budget, had some issues, but great movie. And then they decide, let's turn this shit up to 11. Ash has already gone through all this stuff, so like give him like this hilarious dark humor PTSD element, and just roll with it. And they did, and it gets crazier and crazier and crazier. And I love Ash even more today than I did when he first made his appearance. So
Yeah.
Evil Dead 2 wins easy, hands down. Moves on.
Gotta take it. That is the end of Region 1.
Woo!
Have our Sweet 16 for that side. Man. So we will move on to Region 2. And this one is another cut and dry one for me personally. You got the number 1 seed, Nightmare on Elm Street, going up against the 8th seed, Scream 3.
Oh.
And there's not much for me to say here. Scream 3 is better. No, I'm just playing. Nightmare on Elm Street. This is, again, no, I don't even think I've been that controversial this time around. Actually, yeah, I was with the TCM remake, I guess. But not anything too crazy yet for me.
I don't think that's controversial. I think you're fine there.
It's an OG classic to start it all, but people do love the remake. But that's one that's like on the borderline. But this one, still no crazy controversy here. Scream 3 is not going to move on, dude. And speaking of spoilers, how you're talking about the last one, I think the only ones we have to worry about spoiler-wise on these lists is Scream 6, which got booted in the first round, and Evil Dead Rise that is coming up. I guess we'll have to talk around that. But
yeah,
other than that, we shouldn't have to worry about spoilers. But as far as this matchup goes, OG Freddy, bro, going against third round of Scream. There's nothing to even say, man. It's going to be Elm Street for me all day.
I hate to do this to you, man. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
so Scream 3 is one for me that when you told me it made it through, I was really shocked because Scream 3 has some good stuff. I mean, I'm not going to be one of those guys that's like Scream 3 sucks. It's terrible.
Yeah.
But I don't love it. Yeah, I don't love it. It's one of the few that we're going to talk about today that
I only love the first one, honestly.
I just kind of meh at Scream 3. Actually, a lot of times when I'm watching the Scream movies, I skip 3. I go 1.
I can't
2.
do it.
I just go 1, 2, 4, man, because those are the 3 for me. But
yeah, you love 4.
Oh God, I love 4, man. 4 is
See, I'm one of those weird people. Like I really like 4. The only one I don't dislike a Scream movie. The 6th one, the latest one's the only one I don't really like. Like I like it, but I have so many problems with it. It's almost average to me. But it's controversial too because everybody's like, just like, oh my God, this movie's so amazing.
Dude, they did that about Scream 5 too, and that's probably my least favorite.
Scream 5 grew on me so much on the second watch. It's pretty fucking great. But I mean,
yeah, this is something about. I want a little bit of mystery. If they're gonna do like a masked killer throughout the movie and then unmask them, like I knew the whole time who is the killer in 5, and maybe, and I'm not like that in every Scream movie. I'm not saying I'm some detective mastermind. I am most certainly the opposite of that. Yeah, I am not a mastermind. I usually don't get it, but I got it from the very beginning. I was watching it by myself in theater, so that probably didn't help. I was just watching it, Scream 5, and everything went down exactly how I thought it would. And I just couldn't get into that one. But Scream 3 is probably my second least favorite.
Did you see Roman coming?
In
the third one, her brother.
I'm trying to remember, man. It's been so long since I saw it for the first time, and didn't know.
Yeah,
I watched the Scream movies were some of the like first horror movies I can remember watching, other than Chucky and Leprechaun. Those two,
I think it's for a lot of people in the 90s. Yeah, it just kind of goes hand in hand. It's a little more tame. It's not 80s. It's like hot. It's in style at that time when we were like growing up as kids and shit. It's easy introductory
and stuff a lot. I saw it on pop up on TV a lot. So, there's no telling how I felt the first time I watched it. I think it's a decent twist. I don't mind it. I know when I go back and rewatch it, I'm like, oh, they did that pretty well. So there are things about 3 that are really good. But it's still probably it's bottom half of Scream movies for me, for sure. It's probably about 4th or 5th for me. So like you said, this is an easy choice for me. It's not going to be a competition here.
Bye, Scream 3.
Goodbye. I got my love for you, but you out of here.
Yeah. Gotta go. Then we have, oh fuck, damn it. The 5th seed, Jason Lives, going up against the 13 seed, Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge.
Oh God. My heart.
The pain.
This one hurts.
I know where I'm going, but I'm probably going to hell for this opinion.
I know what I need to
Where I'm
do. I just
going.
don't know if I have the strength to do it.
Yeah. There's that quote. Jason Lives, probably the fan favorite. Friday 13th. That's my favorite franchise. They're all neck and neck, but Friday 13th, gun to my head, got to choose Friday 13th over these. But yet and still, I'm just a super fan of Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
I know you are, man.
In this movie, I cannot do it,
scene,
bro.
I remember you love that.
It comes down to it. If I enjoy both movies and it's a horror movie, Jason Lives is like goofy, fun horror with a powerful, like would be intimidating if you saw him, Jason. Whereas Freddy's Revenge is like fucking Freddy is frightening, and I'm going with Elm Street 2. Got to.
Oh yeah.
Freddy's Revenge. Fuck my life. But I gotta do
it. This one's tough, man. This one's tough. So I remember how much you like Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2. I remember when we were doing that ranking, that scene, where he like walks to that backyard and he's got the fires behind him. I remember you sending me that picture, like, dude, look how epic this is. Look how he looks.
He does though.
And he does, man. And you brought me around to Part 2 because I saw it a long time ago, and I was kind of like, remember thinking I was bored with it. When I was younger, I was like, this one's boring. But I went back and watched it.
Vision.
It is. I went back and watched it. There's a lot of great things about that. Jason Lives, I'm pretty sure was my number one Jason movie when we did our rankings.
Jesus.
I'm pretty sure
Jesus
it was,
lives.
man.
Good Lord.
Jesus Lives. Yeah, the resurrection story, Part 7. But no,
right.
Oh God. Again, I'm gonna have to just base it off of what I would rather go back and watch.
Yeah.
And I think with the era we live in and the climate we live in, and just what I would want to sit and watch right now, based on my horror interest, I'm gonna have to agree with you and go with Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2 because
no way.
Man, I love the main character in this movie.
Jesse kills it. Jesse's dead.
I love and like you said, you're talking about two completely different tones. You've got like Part 6 in a franchise versus Part 2 in a franchise.
Yeah.
You have gotten to goofier. The only thing I don't like about Jason Lives pretty much is, and I'm forgetting character names because I haven't refreshed, but the reoccurring character in the Friday the 13th series.
Tommy Jarvis?
Yes, Tommy Jarvis. Did not like Tommy Jarvis in that movie. I
don't either.
Yeah,
everybody gives me shit for that. It's my least favorite incarnation of Tommy Jarvis. Part 5 gets shit on, but Part 5 makes more sense than Tom Matthews' portrayal to me. That's what I feel like that young Corey Feldman will grow up into, is the crazy one in Part 5, not the guy in 6. I feel like that's not a natural progression.
Nope, he's just he just accidentally brings Jason back to life. Coincidentally, he's the one. Yeah, and so there's a lot of things that
kill him even though he's already dead. It's a great idea.
Exactly.
He finally put to rest.
Part 6, like I said,
fucking movie.
It's fun,
sure.
and it's probably got some of my favorite Jason elements to it. But when I'm comparing the two movies, and I'm thinking once again, which one would I sit and watch right now? Gun to my head, it's going to be Part 2. Nightmare on Elm Street, watching Freddy be dark as shit, trying to take over this poor homosexual's body.
Motherfucker.
Every time.
Exploiting the fucking shit out of him. When he kills Grady and comes out of his body, you got that eyeball on the back of the throat. He gets he's got the fedora on, like with the heavy music playing.
Dude, yes. They're telling, this movie.
The score in this movie.
Metaphors, man. There's a lot of metaphors tackled in this movie. Not just for, homoerotic behavior, which it's accused of, but it's also just like body dysmorphia, just high school troubles. And the way Freddy just really takes advantage of that and works his way into this guy's life, man. It's nuts. It's fun to watch.
It's really fucking unique amongst the franchise, and they get enough credit for it.
And then they go super crazy that, he's doing all this crazy shit coming at people's bodies. And and being dark and walking slow motion with fire. And then the next one, he's just like, it's prime time, bitch.
Yeah.
Welcome to prime
time, bitch.
So they definitely take a big turn there. So yeah, part 2, one of my favorite Nightmare on Elm Street movies, and just slightly edges out Jason Lives.
Damn. Well, I ain't gonna say it out loud, but if you can put 2 and 2 together on what the next round matchup will be, it'll be fucked. Anyways, moving on. Evil Dead Rise as the 11th seed, the new Evil Dead advanced. Wow. Watch it win it all, dude. We're just that in love with that movie. That'd be crazy. Going up against the other upset, the 14 seed, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2.
Okay.
Oh, man. I know mine. I fucking loved Evil Dead Rise, but Rob Zombie Halloween 2, I mean, that just, for me, swept me off my feet. There's people that get on board with this fever dream that is a crazy fucking Michael Myers depiction. There's people that want it to burn in hell. I'm not of the latter. And I even think, like, part of me is like, maybe Evil Dead Rise hasn't grown on me enough yet. I have already seen it twice. I saw it twice in theaters, but I don't even think it's that. Like, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 was like, I watched it and I immediately was like, this is forever in a rotation. When I whereas everybody else was like, this fucking movie sucks. I was like, what? No one else likes this? And then eventually a few people came around to it. Whereas Evil Dead Rise was like, I was like, fuck yeah, I loved it. I did. I wanted to love it even more, but I loved it. I'm glad I loved it. It wasn't like, yeah, bro, let's fucking go type of love, you know, which I don't think I've ever left a theater like that. It's not a sporting event. Like, it'd be so fucking weird.
Not since Toy Story 3.
Like, talk about Evil Dead Rise. Let's fucking rise up right now, guys. Let's fucking go stand and O, baby. Like, I'm not doing that, but
just you know what I mean. Get up.
Yeah. You know, I mean, there's levels of this shit. I wasn't fucking like, wow, on the inside. It was just kind of like, fuck yeah, I hoped it'd be great, and it was great, rather than wow, that fucking blew my mind. So I gotta go Rob Zombie Halloween 2, controversial or not, because even here I think that's controversial because most people fucking hate this movie. And Evil Dead Rise, although not, you know, I've seen naysayers, it seems like it's generally liked.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. So this is my question, because it's been a question of mine for a long time, but why do people hate Halloween 2, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2? Like, what is there exactly to hate?
Because it's Rob Zombie.
Yeah, I was about to say, if you
love
it's
violence, so different.
Yeah, if you love violence and you love Michael Myers and you love Michael Myers committing violence, then I don't understand what there's missing from Halloween 2. But also at the same time, I feel the exact same way as you. I left, Evil Dead Rise thinking that was really good. I love that movie. When it comes out on Blu-ray, I'm going to buy it and I'm going to add it to my Evil Dead collection, right?
Yeah.
But again, I agree with you almost 100%. The first time I watched Halloween 2, it scarred me. I was like 10, 11, 12, somewhere in there. Yeah. And every brutal scene, curb stomping scene, whatever it was that was happening, Bill Durff's character just melting down, all this stuff. It stuck with me. And I watched it again a couple years ago, and I was kind of thinking the same thing I just mentioned. I was like, why don't people like this movie? The complaint with the first movie that Rob Zombie did was that it was too slow because the first half is developing characters. Where this one, there's no character development. He's just going to smash everybody. So what is there to complain about? Like you said, the fact that people just have a problem with Rob Zombie.
And reimagining. They don't like that's you can't win with people with remakes. They'd be like, oh, it's too close to the vest. You can't remake the classic. But then when you go to do something completely different with the same vibes here and there, the character to kind of capture the essence all while doing your own thing, it's, oh my God, that's not Michael. Michael wasn't this motherfucker that had a bad childhood and all this, which I agree. And I actually agree the original intent of the character is a better thing and vibe that I would rather that be there.
Yeah.
But if you're going to fucking remake the movie, I'd rather go into the, the opposite of nature versus nurture, whatever side that falls on, because why the fuck not? I want to see that other version. Let me witness that. And let me fall in love with that. Let me see a gigantic Michael Myers rather than a smaller Michael Myers. Let me just witness what that's like. It's a different version, reimagining, and that's what makes it fucking good to me. Not like, don't try to do the same thing.
Yeah, people forget that when they remake these movies, you can still go back and watch the original.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to watch Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 because it's the newest Halloween movie and think, oh, that's the standard Halloween movie. No, you can still go watch the 1978 one if you want to. Like,
For
you're not
sure.
getting anything taken away from your Halloween just because they added something different to the franchise. I agree with you. I've always loved Rob Zombie's Halloween movies. I do like the first one a little bit more, I think, just because
Me too. I've
I think
varied over the years, but yeah.
yeah, they tie things together a little bit better in the movie. I think the editing is a lot better in the first one. That plays a big difference for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, this isn't too hard of a decision. I love both of these movies. I would put them both above sevens for sure. But Halloween 2 is going to win this one for me too, man.
Hell yeah. And then we move on to could this be more controversy?
Oh shit.
The 7 seed New Nightmare, and then going up against the 15 seed Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022, the one that knocked out Dream Warriors. And dude,
Woo!
I don't love New Nightmare, but I fucking highly enjoy it. It's like one of those ones that's on the cusp. I love the idea, and there's moments that are just fucking amazing, but it just doesn't quite get there to that love level. But man, I'm always hyped to watch it. But Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022, I'm this movie's biggest fan. I don't know why. The reason I explain it this way is because I've looked and searched the bowels of the internet. People fucking hate and loathe this movie. It's very rare I find somebody that even, they're like, oh, I kind of like it. I know you enjoy it, or at least enjoy it to some degree, which is more than what most people can say. But I like it more than New Nightmare. And yeah, I don't know what you're going to say here, but fuck, it's getting real. I remember you not being a big fan of New Nightmare, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
which surprised me.
It's one I would call good.
Yeah. But you gave it like a 6 out of 10 or something.
Yeah,
like
I
something
can't
lower.
break the great. Like, I can't get through there with this one. Like, I've tried. I see the art. I appreciate the different direction. Again, we're talking about a movie that has a different vibe than the other movies in the franchise.
Not a big kill count either at all.
Not a big. I think they got, what is it, like 4 or something. It's really low.
It's that much. I'm trying to think. There's the husband in the car where it comes through the fucking seat, and then the babysitter where it recreates the kill that's not as good. So you're doing a kill that's not going to match the one that happened with Tina. And that's the only 2 I can really remember, other than like the opening dream. I think it might just be 2 people, which sometimes can work if your movie's heavy on like suspense and it's like new and you're kind of figuring out who the killer is and all this shit, which I guess they're trying to do here because it's like a demon, coming through as Freddy rather than Freddy. But when you've already seen as many Freddy movies as you have, and you're on the 7th entry in the fucking franchise, it's kind of like I want to see at least a couple more deaths. Like 4 would have even been all right, but you get 1 kill, and the other kill you get, if I'm correct, I believe it's only 2, is just a worse version of another kill. And you have the fucking just like, you ever played Skin the Cat? Like that stupid line or whatever. It's not even really that stupid. It's just like, I'm just saying, like, you get like a corny line with a kill that wasn't as good as like the Tina situation is all I'm saying. And the fucking, I will say, I said in the last video, the one thing that gives me chills is when Nancy first sees him again. He's in the closet. He's just like, miss me. That scene is like, oh shit, it's on. Like, fuck yeah. Like, you miss him, bitch? Like, he's about to go in on you, dude. Yeah, I'm really, really good movie, but it's no great movie. It's no Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022. That sounds so dumb, right? Sorry, guys, but I gotta go there.
Well, okay. I'm one of those people though, man. The first time I watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022, I did not like it very much. I liked a lot of things about it, right? So I loved the last 20 minutes of it. I was like, holy shit, this is the best we've seen Leatherface. The only thing I didn't like about the last 20 minutes was the fact that he storms that bus and kills everyone, which is one of the coolest scenes I've ever seen in my life. Like ever. But
that's so sick.
But it's not Leatherface, man, because Leatherface would have avoided that crowd of people.
Yeah.
But other than that, it ranks up there with the top of Texas Chainsaw Massacre lists. I won't say exactly where because we have other contenders from that franchise in this, and I don't want to give any spoilers. But what I will say is great movie, not just good, great movie. By far, it supersedes New Nightmare for me. Not even close. You're talking about like a 6 versus like an 8.5.
Dope.
So definitely going Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022.
There's so many scenes that made me yell out loud during that movie. Like I'll say like
Dude,
one, it's
it's
not really
good,
spoiler.
man.
Like when dude gets his like knee caved in, I was like, oh shit, like out loud. Every time I'm like,
Dude.
oh damn. Like,
And like I said, even the bus scene that I don't
yeah,
think should
like,
have been necessarily been in there, I'm watching it like, this is great.
holy
I didn't
shit.
even know I needed this in my life.
The way he's sprinting, like the sound design and shit, is fucking
Dude, blood fucking everywhere in that scene.
yeah. I don't
So
understand it,
good.
dude. I love it. Nobody else does though, but it's okay. I guess we
I can
can.
get out of here.
Yeah. All right. Then we're on to the next region. The original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the 1 seed, going up against the 8 seed, the Dream Master.
Oh boy. Okay, I'll
Oh
take
boy.
the lead on this one. Let me go ahead and just get this one out of the way. So, easy choice. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original, is one of the best horror movies ever made. In my opinion, obviously, it's actually one of the films I have on Criterion Collection. I just absolutely think that this is one of the few horror movies, especially one of the few older horror movies, that doesn't just fit into the category of classic of horror movies, but I think this is a cinematic classic. I think from the way it's shot to the way the story's told to the characters, I think this isn't your standard run of the mill slasher.
No.
I think this is a film that should be and is studied for its filmmaking uh, and its storytelling. I think this is one of the best horror movies ever made, and I don't think that's ever going to change. TCM for the win.
Okay. I was like, is there a butt coming? Is there a butt coming?
No, not
Yeah,
this one, dude.
there's
Not
definitely
on
no
this
butt
one.
coming for me. Shout
Yeah,
out to Mick Strawn, who we've had on the podcast before. He did some maybe his best work with like all the set designs and shit in this one. I mean, Dream Master, I think
Dream
even
Master. I like Dream Master, man.
Dream Warriors in that regard. Like, I actually like Dream Master more than Dream Warriors, honestly.
Really, that one was tough for me. I remember I had a tough time between the two. I can't. I think I
I
went
think
Dream Warriors.
I think Dream Warriors probably is a slightly better movie. Like, and not even slightly. I think it is a better movie,
I think
but
the action is better.
I have more fun with Dream Master, and Dream Master's a little easier for me to coax myself into after like it's just hard for me to go from 2 being such a huge fan of that, where most people aren't a big fan of that. So then they get to Dream Warriors, it's like welcoming something new. For me, since I'm a big fan of 2, I'm like, what is this Freddy right now? He's too goofy. But then
Yeah,
after Dream Warriors, I'm kind of just like, all right, now I'm kind of used to this. And the
yeah. This
4th
is
one, I'm a
Freddy
little
now.
more
Yeah,
open to it. So they're probably about on par, but the transition from 2 to 3 just doesn't work as well from 3 to 4
yep.
for
I
me.
feel that.
So I give it the edge, but I don't give it the edge over Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Not the original. No way, no how. I don't need to say shit about it. TCM moves
Now,
on.
if you would have had, if we would have maybe had a different lead actress in Dream Master, you could be talking about a whole different movie. I feel like some of the casting was the only bad decisions made in that movie. I think
Really?
now it's hard to know for sure, but I feel like if
What
you
the
make a
fuck is
few
her
different
name?
casting
Why am I
decisions,
blanking?
oh, I can't even remember. Well, they took
Because I really like her. Is her name Tina?
let me look it up. I got it
I
right
think
here.
it's Tina. No,
Dream.
it's Alice. It's Lee. I had it. See, I didn't know if I was right about that on her actress name, and I was actually. I could have just said it, but no, it's Lisa Wilcox is Alice.
Alice, yeah. Yeah, that's it.
I really like her in part 4, and honestly, I don't know. Like, I actually really like her in part 4 as the lead. I don't know, however, if I like her in part 5. Like, and the reason why I say that is like I've seen her in Dream Child, and like I've seen the movie. It feels like a million times, but sometimes I wonder if I just hate that movie so much that it like I can't even like watch her in it, or if it's like
It's rough.
she's good, but I just hate the fucking rest of the movie so much that like I can't even begin to find bright spots, even if there is some. I'm just so like, oh my god, get me out of here, to where I can't be like, oh, she's doing good. It's because I'm just so drained with everything else. But yeah, I actually liked her in 4, but so I can't agree on the at
No,
least the
that's fine.
lead.
Yeah.
But the overall characters are kind of, yeah, they're kind of hit or miss for sure.
Yeah.
Anyways, what we got next? We got we got Damn, dude, this is interesting, kind of, because this is the first two sequels to the Halloween movie. And I'm not talking about Season of the Witch. You might be like, what the fuck? Well, that would be one of the first two sequels, right? And I'm talking about the timeline situation because I
Oh,
have Halloween H2O as the 5th seed. So that is the sequel in this timeline going up
right.
against the original sequel. Halloween 2 is the 4 seed.
Ooh, okay.
So what is your true sequel basically here, at least between these two, which I think
Well,
your actual true sequel is 2018, even though I think that's gone already, or did that advance? I can't remember. We'll figure that out later. But
yeah, I was about to say, oh my God, what? So
mm,
dang it. There's another tough one. Jamie Lee Curtis is in both of them, so you can't go wrong. I think if you take out a couple of things that are in H2O and you add a couple different elements, like one, the mask bothers me a little bit, blah, blah, blah. Everybody talks about that.
tell me I come back. Oh no.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
well, I did for a second, and then
Yep.
I'm gone again. You can keep going though.
Okay. So there's a couple things in H2O that bother me, but overall, I was with you. That's one that I think's underrated. It's one that I like a lot more than most people do. Um, and you know, like you said, you have that one timeline there, but and then the other timeline, the other, or universe, you might say, is the original sequel to Halloween 2, where you find out she's his sister. And I don't know if it's because I grew up believing that Jamie Lee Curtis's character was Michael Myers' sister or not, but I do prefer that storyline. So even though I like these two
Tell me that.
movies, I think that the Kung Fu kind of takes me out a little bit, and I got to go with Halloween 2, the original, to win this one for me.
Mm. So H2O, easily far and away from me, has the best
Woo!
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh
Like,
God, yeah, I might have to agree with that. I might really actually have to agree with that. That's a good point, man.
like Jamie Lee Curtis is like overrated as fuck final girl to me, except for her performance in H2O. She fucking kills it. I cannot stand Halloween 2018's Jamie Lee Curtis, where she's just been trained and hunting. Like everybody talks about like she's Linda fucking Hamilton. Like I just don't
Yeah,
believe that girl from the first one turns into this. What I
that's a good
believe
point.
is H2O Jamie Lee Curtis, who's been dealing with all this pressure, and then finally when her back is completely against the wall and she's forced into action, she then takes on Michael Myers. Not that she's been waiting for him, like I've been waiting every day since that day. That type of shit. Don't get into it. But in saying that, though, Halloween fucking 2, 1981, I've got to move on. As a movie, it's so much
Oh,
better than me.
oh,
We got to do
scared me a
that.
little bit there.
Got to do
But
Halloween 2.
But I know how much you love H2O. I know how tough that was for you, and I do like H2O a lot, man. It's not one I write off like a lot of people do for sure.
Mm-hmm. Can't even do it. Well, no, it's funny. I somehow went to the other region and went with the second matchup. I guess it caught my eye so hard that I went to the other region and went with the second matchup over there rather than the second matchup of the third region. I went to the fourth region.
Oh,
So
we're
I
going to
guess
play.
we're
Yeah.
gonna just skim back over to the actual second matchup of this region. Hopefully my camera carries out through all this. We might have to be a little quicker on the draw since my shit's dying, obviously. I don't know how much percentage I have left on the cam, but I'm already invisible. Uh damn, I can't believe I did that. It'll still work though in the end.
Oh yeah, we got it. We got it. It's going to
All
work
right.
out.
Back to the other region. The 5th seed, Rob Zombie's Halloween. Going up against the 4 seed, Candyman, the original.
Ooh. Ooh. Hoo, 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 hoo.
I know what I'm going. I know where I'm going here just because I've mapped this out before,
Yeah.
and
I
I
feel
hate
yeah,
myself.
it's kind of hard not to when you kind you write the brackets. It's hard not to already do it kind of a little bit, at least in your head.
But,
To be
you're
prepared.
like top 50 horror movies, that type of shit.
Yeah.
I
I
hate
mean,
myself for this, and I hate that it seems so easy because it's not. This would be like it could go either way, but I've already mapped this out in my fucking head before. I know that this one is in this place on my ranking, and this one's on this place, so I can be like, okay, well, that must be it. But just looking at it on paper, this is a tough one that would have me stuck normally. But I got to go Rob Zombie's Halloween And that hurts because I'm a huge OG Candyman fan. I mean, these are both upper echelon fucking movies to me.
Yeah,
And
they are.
I fucking hate to do that, like big time.
Well, I think we're gonna have to go to IMDb, and I gotta be honest with you, Brandon. I don't know if it's gonna be looking too good for you, man.
Yeah.
Because to be honest with you, Candyman 2, I did not like that much, didn't love, at least, if it comes up in the ranking, it still
Yeah.
has a chance to beat some other movies out. But the third one, trash. The remake, I didn't care for it. But the original Candyman is one of the essential horror movies. So I just shook my camera. It's one of the essential horror movies for me. I remember walking into the old VHS store in the malt shop in Stonewall, Oklahoma, where every fucking VHS case was caked in cooking grease from the kitchen. Ooh. And seeing that cover, that classic Candyman cover, every time I went in there, until finally I was like 12 or 13, convinced my grandparents or whatever to let me rent it, watched it. And it just kind of shifted my reality on horror films. I was like, oh, these kinds of movies exist. Like this kind of horror. I love this. Whereas Rob Zombie's Halloween is one of those, like the second one is, where it's, you got your violence, you got your awesome, in my opinion at least, awesome Michael Myers. Yeah. A decent storyline. I like the kid that plays him when he's a kid. I think he does a good job, but I can believe that he grows up to be Michael Myers. I don't know. There's a lot of great things about it. Rob Zombie took a Halloween in a great direction, in my opinion. But, man, it just comes down to the fact that, he remade a classic and made it his own, better or worse, whatever. It is what it is, and I think it's great. But Candyman is one of those original classics that I think it would be really hard to beat. Once again, it just all comes down to which one I'd rather put in the VHS or DVD or turn on the whatever you watch things on today, Netflix, and watch first, and it's got to go to Candyman.
I can't hate on it. And I'm happy it's moving on, even if that's not what I picked, because Rob Zombie's Halloween is a 6. Candyman is a 6.7.
Dang, Candyman's not as high as I thought it would be. I thought it might be like a high 7 on IMDb.
Yeah, we're talking like only 0.7 away from being outed there. All right. Moving on to the 3 seed. Friday 13th, the final chapter, going up against the 6 seed, Bride of Chucky. Bride of Chucky's awesome, but it's not the final chapter. Final chapter is like slasher perfection. That's an easy one for me.
Yeah, I have to agree, man. Bride of Chucky, one of my favorite Chucky movies for its own reasons.
Yeah.
Is it scary? Is it horror? Not really. It's Chucky being goofy. It's more of a dark comedy. Yeah, I got to go final chapter pretty much hands down. I mean, you're talking like a 6.5 versus a 8, so
yeah,
final chapter.
Classic shit. Then we have some more Child's Play. 7 seed Child's Play 3 going up against the 2 seed Friday the 13th OG. I fucking love both of these movies, but for me, I got to go with the original digital. OG Friday on that one.
That kind of surprises me a little bit on that one for you, because I know how much you love Child's Play 3.
I do.
It's one for me that
I'm huge on Friday 13th, though, man. Like the first one,
Jason's your man, yeah.
Yeah, but not even just that. There's a lot of people just like, oh, the first one doesn't have Jason. I've never been that guy. The original Friday 13th is my shit.
I mean, what a twist! If you're watching that for the first time, that was a pretty good twist. I mean, honestly, for sure. I mean, for a slasher movie back then, they did something different. Other than like Sleepaway Camp or whatever. That's like one of the first like big twists in a horror slasher film.
Yeah,
this is pretty easy for me. But as you remember, Child's Play 3 is one of my, if not my absolute bottom Child's Play movie.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
It's just something about the campy army. Everyone's got a buzz cut. It's early 90s vibe that I just don't love. It's the same reason I have a hard time rewatching Major Payne. As good of a movie as that is, something about that 90s vibe, military style thing that they have going, I can't vibe with it. So can't get into it, man. So yeah, it's a pretty easy choice for me here too.
Child's Play 3 is such a weird movie. There's no like in between with that movie. It seems like people are just like,
wild.
oh my God, the one at the military school, it's so dope. Or somebody's like, ugh, terrible. Like that I got so many fond memories about it. But on to the last region where we actually have already answered one. Remember Halloween 2 is over H2O. But here's the first matchup before we skip the second one and move on to the third. The first matchup is the 1 seed Scream, the original, going up against the 8th seed Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Okay.
Do
you know what you're doing on this one?
Do what? My bad. I didn't hear you. Like, I don't know. You were clear as fuck, and I still am like, what did he say? I don't know.
Do you know what you're doing on this one?
Oh, do I know what I'm doing on this one? Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I love Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, but yeah, the original Scream I've even bigger love for. I mean, come the fuck on, dude. That opening is still like one of the best, if not the best horror openings ever.
Yes. Yeah.
Gotta go OG Scream on this one.
Yeah. Again, yeah. Well, I mean, we've only disagreed once or twice so far. Twice, I think you got Evil Dead knocked out for me, and I think I got what was it? One of the H2O knocked out for you, I think, on that one. But yeah,
you had Candyman over.
Oh Halloween. Yeah, that's what it was. But this one, man, yeah, this one is. I have to agree with you, man. It's this one's pretty cut and dry for me too. I mean, there's not much to say other than this is just a movie that hands down I think is better, and I would rather watch. So
I can see that.
Not too tough. Not too tough on that.
Of course, but gotta give TCM2 its flowers on my end. I don't even know if you're a big fan of it or not. I can't remember.
I do. It's above mid tier TCM for me for sure. I don't remember where it I think it was like third maybe on my list. So it's a high up there one, and it's great, but it just doesn't quite do the same thing for me.
But it's not the original Scream.
No, Scream is, man, you're talking about the original Scream. We go back to, like we were talking about earlier with MTV days and seeing Scream on TV and it kind of growing up with that as our franchise, like our generation's horror franchise. Our slasher was Ghostface, and this is almost just a flawless movie. The way they make fun of other horror movies as things that they're making fun of are happening, it's just, oh God, it's so well put together. The acting is amazing in this movie. I mean,
for a slasher movie, for sure.
For a slasher, right? I mean, yeah. I mean, you're still talking about Seth Green and Skeet Ulrich. I mean, these guys are great in this role. Could they have pulled off any character like someone like a Daniel Day-Lewis? No, absolutely not. But they are perfect in their roles. The casting for this movie was spot on, and the characters from this movie live on forever. Maybe more so than any other horror movie franchise, which is crazy because you're talking about, I mean, just a whole list of actors and actresses like Jamie Lee Curtis and Final Girls and Tommy Jarvis and people. And I would still rather see, Skeet Ulrich play the killer or, Seth Green play the bumbling idiot. So it's just, it's not a hard decision for me to put Scream above just about any horror movie. But this one, it definitely takes the cake here.
You talking about Jamie Kennedy?
Oh my God, I am.
Yeah. Whoa. Yeah, you confused me the first time, but every once in a while, like I'll let stuff slide because I don't want to seem like that prude type of guy. But then I was like, fuck, he said it again. He probably want me to like almost tell him because it's not even like a thing where you don't know what you're talking about. Like sometimes you just say shit. Like, and I'm not saying you, I mean just as a person because I do that shit too. And I'm just like, I'll listen back to what I said, and I'm like, why the fuck did I say that? It's so
I've done that so many times, man. I'm definitely talking about Malibu's Most Wanted.
Yeah. And for some reason, I knew exactly who you're talking about too. I was like, he's almost got like Seth Green vibes. So he's got to be talking about Jamie Kennedy.
And I'm picturing Seth Green. And what is that movie? Is it Brain Dead or Hand or?
Idle Hands.
Idle Hands.
And for some reason, my mind went there. Because when you said it the first time, I was like trying to decode it, and I was like, "What if maybe he means Matthew Lillard?" Because he said Seth Green and Skeet Ulrich, and I was like, technically, Matthew Lillard and Seth Green, they were in fucking Scooby-Doo 2 together. Like maybe he could mix them up. Like I was like trying to think of ways who you were mixing up, And I finally deciphered after you said it the second time, I was like, it's got to be Jamie Kennedy.
Yeah, I'm getting these people mixed up. Yeah, but it's definitely Jamie Kennedy. Man, I just forgot that guy existed. I just thought that must have been Seth Green.
Yeah, gotta be him. This next one, good Lord, we only got 2 left.
Woo!
The 6th seed, Friday 13th Part 3D, going up against the 3 seed, Child's Play 2.
Oof.
Go ahead, man.
Okay. You know how I feel about both of these, I think, actually.
Yeah. I'm in love with both of these movies, so like I really don't even fucking know, honestly.
So this one's not as hard for me, so I'll go ahead and get mine out of the way, and that way you can give your spoke, because I know you're gonna kind of have a hard time with this one. But I am not a huge fan of Friday the 13th Part 3. I don't like the kind of over the top cheesy biker element they go for, and I don't think the kills are that good. There's a lot of things that I kind of just don't love about the movie. I see why people do love it, and it's kind of a fan favorite, but for me, it just doesn't scratch that itch. Kind of like Child's Play Part 3. Something about those Part 3s, man, they don't do it for me. But God, yeah, and then you talk about crap. I forgot what the other one was, man. Just went blank. My mind is
Friday 13th Part 3 or Child's Play 2.
Child's Play 2. There we go.
I was making sure that's what you're talking about. I was listening, but I was also looking because I have these all ranked on the list, and I knew it was close. So I was like, "What am I going with?" Because I can't choose. I was like, "I got to go to my little ranking I have, and that'll tell me."
Yes. So yeah, okay. So that I just don't love Friday the 13th Part 3, but Child's Play 2, at least at the time that we made our ranking videos, was my favorite Child's Play movie. Is it now? I don't really know. And especially when you add in the show, at least season 1, I know that was a big thing for me. I really love Chucky season 1 or Child's Play season 1. I forget the name. I think it's Chucky. But really, really like that show. So, I mean, you have a lot of newer stuff that could maybe jump it now, just depending. But as far as at the time that these movies were made, at the time that I first saw them, it's pretty hands down Child's Play Part 2 for me.
Man, just to say how close this is on my all-time movie ranking, and I'm not telling you how big this is a huge ranking, so this could be like hundreds of movies. So it doesn't really tell you that like, oh, all-time movie ranking, these have got to be in like his top 10 or top 20. This is a huge ranking. Keep that in mind.
Okay.
So this isn't horror movie ranking. This is movie ranking. There's only one movie in between them.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Dude, no way.
Swear to God.
I kind of want to know the movie that's in between them now.
Funny, like crazy this would even be here, but like huge fan of it. Rush Hour is the movie that's in between them.
Great movie. Great movie.
Yeah. But Friday 13th Part 3, on that note, I like a little more. And you chose Child's Play 2, and I want to say you win this one because Child's Play 2 is a fan favorite, but Friday 13th is a little more popular franchise, so I don't know.
Here, you look up. Which one are you looking up?
Child's Play 2. I'm pretty sure Child's Play 2 wins this one still, though, but because I don't think Friday 13th 3 is a like fun slasher movie, but I don't think it's highly praised or anything.
Okay, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, Child's Play took it.
Okay, yeah, I was about to say Part 3 is kind of a little bit lower. It's lower than I thought it would be.
With a 5.6.
Yeah, a little lower than I thought it would be. I know that's a pretty big, like you said, fan favorite. I thought that number would have jumped up over the last few years or so, but that's not far off from where I would put it, to be honest with you. It's just one that I couldn't quite vibe with. I thought that they changed it too much too fast.
Yeah, Child's Play 2 was a 5.9, so it was close.
Wow, see, that's lower than I thought it would be. That's crazy, man. Horror movie get no love, dog.
They really don't. And then you look at movies like Rob Zombie's Halloween is pretty much universally panned, and Child's Play 2 is pretty much loved by horror fans, and Rob Zombie's Halloween has a 6 out of 10, whereas Child's Play 2 is a 5.9, but is way more of a fan favorite if you're talking to anybody. So maybe IMDb is not the right thing to use. Fuck.
This whole doesn't look like it so far in these rankings. I've disagreed with it just about every
fucking thing is flawed, dude.
The whole system's fucked, dog.
I know, man. Then it moves on to the last one. Could this be eventful? Could it? I'm talking about the 7th seed Friday the 13th remake going up against the 2 seed The Evil Dead original from 1981.
Okay, say them one more time, because I
Friday,
heard it, right?
Friday 13th remake.
Oh, Friday the 13th remake. I was like, I thought we already did the Evil Dead remake. Okay, Friday the 13th remake. Yeah, with
against the OG Evil Dead.
Okay, versus the Evil Dead original. Oh,
to
boy.
round us out.
Go ahead, man. I took the lead on the last one, I think.
Well, I can just go ahead and say, highly enjoy the Friday 13th remake. Absolutely love the original Evil Dead. This one's cut and dry for me.
Okay, fair enough.
But you're wrong.
but you're not right. No, no. Friday the 13th remake again. I think, God, we talk about these horror movies, and every time I just feel like most of them are underrated. Because you know, as good of a community as the horror movie community is, God, there's a lot of hate out there, man. They just hate everything. Like, you know, a new movie comes out and they're just like, I hate it. And they can't even tell you why. I hate the hate that Friday the 13th remake gets. Jared Padalecki is great. Yeah, the girl that plays his sister is pretty good, and I like her character.
Padalecki's my man crush, man. Love that dude.
Hey, that's fair enough. That's my girlfriend's man crush too. No, and I'm more of a Jensen Ackles person myself. But you know, so I love Jared Padalecki. Yeah, exactly. I like the way he plays this character.
Dude, he's amazing in that movie. Honestly, he's one of the better final guys, I guess you could say, in any slasher movie. I think in this movie, he's extremely likable, but he's also not gonna. You know, he's really kind of soft, kind-hearted, but he's also not gonna take shit.
Yep.
Like, he's just great lead in the movie.
This movie really has almost everything you could want from a Jason movie. It's got an imposing Jason who actually runs, at least for a little bit. Yeah. And then they even when he doesn't run, they explain how he gets from place to place with his underground tunnels.
Which I love. A lot of people hate it on.
No, I absolutely love it. I think it's maybe one of the best depictions of Jason in the whole series.
Derek Mears.
Derek Mears is so good as Jason, dude. He's terrifying. He's actually terrifying as Jason. And then you've got your characters. You got your douchebag, who's a great dude. I hate him.
He's a piece of fucking shit, but he's fun to hate.
Beat the fuck out of that guy, man. And you know, you got the sister who's a final girl. You got Jared Padalecki playing the final man. You know, and then there's a lot of good kills, and I don't know. There's just really nothing really that wrong with this movie, and it does not deserve the hate that it gets. But once again, you're putting it up against one of the all-time classics. My favorite horror movie of all time is a direct, pretty much reimagining remake of this movie.
Yeah.
It's a little harder for me than it is for you. It's harder to get the words out than I thought it would be, but the original Evil Dead takes this one for me too, man.
Yeah, it's got to. There's only one problem with Friday 13th 3D, and it's actually not 3D remake. Don't know why I said that. The remake. And I decoded this because I randomly finally came up with it. It was one of those movies where I'm like, I really enjoy this movie. And part of it, I think, was it blew its load too soon because the beginning was so amazing that the second half was still good, but it was like, damn, dude, that beginning just kept me like wanting more. It's like having a really good dinner, but like, damn, I can't stop thinking about them appetizers, bro. They were so fucking good to where it kind of takes away from the dinner. But the main thing that fucked it up, I think, and I talked about this when we did our Friday 13th franchise ranking, and it still like blows my mind because it's an easy thing to kind of skim over. But this is like the one movie where your core group, which is like essential in every Friday 13th movie, Jason has a core group he kills, and there's one person that comes out of it. This is the one movie in all the Friday 13th franchise where the core group in the end feels just useless. Because you have an opening with the core group that is way more entertaining, way cooler core group, and a way funner scene with them as they're getting demolished. Then you get what you think is your core group, and every single one of them gets killed. So they end up being rectified to not even being important. We could have done without them, because then we go along with two people that were never even in the core group, and Jared Padalecki and his sister that he finds.
That's so funny. That's true. Yep.
So I think there was always this like detachment when I've watched this movie where I'm like, there's an essence, there's something in the Friday, like it feels like it checks all the boxes and it had some cool ones, but there's something that feels off about it. And I think that's what it is. It's like you don't have that core group you grow with, and then you have like the couple people that come out, and then the one last person, final girl. There's a whole vibe to that. This one, you got a cool group in the beginning that's gone, that overshadows them, and then nobody comes out of that core group. They're all fucking dead, rectified basically to being useless, not even worth a damn. And then you follow two other people. That core group is essential, and I think that hurts this movie for me. And I can never put my finger on it, and I finally did. I think that's what it is. It sounds dumb, but in some weird way, it holds the movie back for me.
I could definitely see that, man. Yeah, like I think the sister, was she part of the first core group?
Or yeah, she's a part of that first core group that got captured. She got captured or whatever. Yeah, and they all got slaughtered.
Like, I agree, man. The people that killed at the very beginning, it's the best kills of the movie. Jason is in his best form, and those characters are more likable and relatable than the ones that they bring in later. I completely agree, and I've actually heard that take at least once or twice too, and I agree with it. And that's why, even though I love it and I think it's almost flawless for a Jason movie, it's still not going to beat something even as cheesy and outdated and stuff as the Evil Dead original might be today. I think when you talk about horror movies and the way that they're made and the gore and just the elements that they like to add into those movies today and the ones that we all love and what we want to see, I think that the Evil Dead was one of the first movies to do it, and they did it right.
Yeah, still amazing.
Yeah, it's still great. I watched it like a year ago or so, maybe a year and a half ago.
I just did the reviews leading up to Evil Dead Rise. It's still fucking amazing. I love it.
Is, man. It's still a top tier movie.
Eat it up, man. Scary, legit movie.
So what movies do we got left, man? What's moving on to the next one?
Oh, you want me to do the preview of the matchups? Because I could do that, I guess.
Let's do it.
I was about to say, like, part of me is like, you know what? I was thinking save it, but at the same time, like, it might be cool to like show the scariness, at least for like one round going to the next, of what we have to look forward to. Because good God,
I won't show any emotion. I won't let anybody know which one I'd pick.
Here we go. So we have in the first region, the 1 seed Halloween going up against the 4 seed Friday the 13th Part 2. So that's going to be a matchup, obviously, but a matchup that probably should be pretty tough, I guess. The 6 seed Texas Chainsaw Massacre Remake going up against the 2 seed Evil Dead 2. And when I say, like right here, I'm about to say one should probably win here. But when I'm saying that, I'm not saying how I feel, obviously. I'm saying like the general consensus. Mm-hmm. Then moving on to the next region. This is the one I'd said, I'm like, oh shit, this is going to be a little matchup right here. Because, I mean, the general consensus would definitely pick one over the other, but it's kind of cool to see these two going against each other. It's Elm Street 1 going up against Elm Street 2.
Ooh, I do like that. I like that.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. And then we have this matchup, which is just like insane for this deep into the bracket to go to a Sweet 16. You have a 14 seed Halloween 2 Rob Zombie going up against the 15 seed Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's a pretty tough one too.
Yeah, and even then, like, one of them wins, they're going to the Elite 8. Just to have either of those in the Elite 8 is fucking crazy.
That is crazy, man. I love it. It's just like March Madness.
I know what's going on. That's what it's supposed to do. The 1 seed in the next region, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original, going up against Candyman.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Battle of the Originals. And then we have a couple Friday the 13th clashing. And Friday the 13th, the final chapter, going up against Friday the 13th, the original.
Oh, that's a tough one too. Dang, man. This is getting down to the nitty-gritty.
Yep. And then you go to the last region, which is featuring the 1 seed Scream going up against the 4 seed Halloween 2, which should be fun. And then you got another good one, the 3 seed Child's Play 2 going up against the 2 seed The Evil Dead, which we just talked about. So yeah, that's the matchups, man. We got some heat coming, man. Some interesting ones. I see some tough ones on it already. I'm not gonna think about them much longer though, as I like to have it authentic. Like where now I've seen them at least, but I might be like, "Fuck, dude, fuck!" Like shit. I forgot this is one once it actually comes up.
I have them. I've heard them. I've got them in my mind. I haven't really done any weighing on them yet. I'm not going to. I'm just gonna let them kind of simmer in there. Let them simmer.
Let them fester.
That's right. We'll see what happens.
Whatever people say.
Uncle Fester.
Yeah, I know. What the fuck, dude? What's going on with that? Dude talking about Uncle Fester, bro. Nothing scary about that motherfucker. Jeez. Just jeez.
All right. So I guess what we've got coming up next is a video we're going to do about the James Bond series. That's going to continue. So that's going to continue pretty soon. At some point. I know that we're going to either do 2 or 3 in that. So it'll be like Goldfinger and Thunderball for sure. Maybe add in, another one. We'll see what happens. But we're going in order. So we did the, part 1. I'll link that above right here. That was like, Dr. No and From Russia with Love.
Yes, sir.
And also, we've got Box Office Banner, which is my favorite YouTube channel, where you got Brandon and a lot of his buddies and family members that talk about, new movies, old movies, TV shows. They'll do breakdowns, man. And when it comes to breaking down stuff and putting it into not just an opinion, but also something that's logical and easy to follow, man, Brandon and the guys at Box Office Banner do it better than anybody. So make sure you check that channel out too.
Gracias.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And then we've got, I've got some exciting stuff coming up as well. In October, I'll be in a haunted house again, like I was last year. And this year, I've kind of got more control. Yeah, it's and then
can't wait for this
channel where we have we're going to be doing like kind of like a mockumentary series. So if you want to keep up with that introduces a lot of characters and develops a lot of the story, and then leads into the haunted house, which is in Ardmore, Oklahoma, starting in October, and it's called Mad Jack's Twisted Outcasts. Then check out that YouTube channel too. We're going to be uploading videos. We actually just shot our first one tonight, and that's why we're so late recording this, because I had to go take care of that first and then get home and set up. But a lot of cool, exciting things coming up. And if you guys are into that, interested in any of that, make sure to hit us up, leave comments, likes, share, do all that stuff that we have to ask you to do, because it helps us out, and in turn that helps you out. So, just keep supporting. We'll keep providing. And I hope to see and interact with you guys on every platform we have.
Hell yeah, dude. Agree with all that. Although, man, we could have done the damn Bond movies tonight if you didn't do that music video shit. No, I'm just playing.
That's what I'm saying.
I can only do so much. My camera starts to do this after a while.
That's true.
We only had one video in us.
I thought about that too. I was like, oh yeah, maybe we can get that bracket out before the camera goes down, So
yeah. It probably will. Oh well.
Yeah, we'll definitely get those Bond ones out. Not gonna give up on that, because I love those. I've actually been watching past Where We Are Now, just to go ahead.
Yeah. I thought about it, but I'm trying to wait until like the week of, but we keep fucking waiting like 3 weeks after we watch it, so we might as well just fucking keep going. But
I just love them. I'm having a good time with it. Yeah, I'm just loving watching the Bond films again, man. They're so good.
Oh yeah, I'm ready to continue on past fucking Thunderball and all that shit, but we'll get there. We'll get there.
Absolutely, man. Anything else you want to say or mention? I know that I kind of gave the whole spill there, and then.
Nah, I mean, there's nothing really to say. Box Office Banner. That what's going on with that? Same old shit. All these new movie reviews. Just did No Hard Feelings. That was a pretty good comedy. Check out a review for that. And I'm about to do a mid-season ranking. Like kind of like when I say mid-season, I mean, I guess you call it mid-year, but you could say mid-season, where I'm just ranking everything I've seen so far since we're in June. And that'll be fun. That's coming up. And I'm doing some Mortal Kombat shit, which isn't really movie related, even though Mortal Kombat happens to also be made into movies. I'm keeping it more game based, which is not something I normally do, but every once in a while I'll throw something random out there. And me and Rodney in particular, he comes on about like once a month now. Huge fans of Mortal Kombat. So we're like, you know what? Mortal Kombat 1's coming out. Let's do some Mortal Kombat shit. And I was like, man, I'm not going to disagree with you. Let's just fucking do it. So yeah, same old shit though, that every, I guess, movie channel has. Good times.
Oh yeah, no, well, I mean, Mortal Kombat is a great movie series and game series. I mean, I love Mortal Kombat, man, and
100%.
The games just keep getting better, and that's the thing about them. They'll have a miss every now and then, but man, the Mortal Kombat games, just like Doom, some of the most revolutionary games of all time in their infancy stages, and now they're just getting better and better. It's so fun.
They find a way, man. They just do. Come here.
Get over here.
Get over here.
Fatality.
So say, dude. I don't know why. I was doing that Liu Kang shit. I don't even know how to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that bicycle kick shit.
Dude, yeah, that's amazing. I'm not going to complain with any of that. They just started, casting the new Mortal Kombat movie that they're going to make. Shao Kahn's cast. 3 or 4 other characters are cast, and they all look great. It's going to be fantastic, man. And the last one, I liked it, especially since they had Joe Taslim as Sub-Zero, one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life. It was about a 7 out of 10 for me. So, it missed in some spots, but it hit in most. And I'm looking forward to this one even more. I think they're going to go darker and more Mortal Kombat-y, if that makes sense.
I hope so, man. I hope so. I love the last one, though.
It was good. It was really good, man. But anyway, if that's it, I'm so glad I got to be on this bracket. Finally, we've talked about it. I got to be on the next one. I got to try to push some of my favorites forward, but also really looking forward to the James Bond reviews. Whatever you got Box Office Banner, I'm really looking forward to seeing that stuff come out. As always, you're my gauge a lot of times on newer stuff that I'm going to see. Since I don't have my own channel now, I don't really go see as much new stuff to review.
Yeah.
So I like to see if it's going to be good first or not from you, and then and check that out. So, and then like I said, I've got the Mad Jack's Twisted Outcast thing coming up, which is a YouTube channel and a haunted house if you're in the Ardmore or Oklahoma area, or if you want to travel to see a good haunted house. This isn't it's really not your standard, run of the mill haunted house that you would get if you just went to your local, high school that puts one on every year or whatever. This is, these are paid actors and actresses, and they're really trying to do something special down there. I'm going to plug something that I'm completely not related to, but if you enjoy something that you might see, and there's a show on Tubi, which is free, called Spook Show 17. And it's a show it's a reality show, an actual reality, not a mockumentary. It's an actual reality show of these people that put on this haunted house in California every year. And it's, we're not quite that intense, but it's kind of what we try to model ourselves after. So if you guys haven't checked that out yet, and you're into scary shit, check that out.
Fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. I'm hyped for it. Yeah, been able to see me for like 20 minutes, but whatever. Yeah, I'm waving at you.
Anyway, all right. Yeah, dude. So fun. I guess we'll talk to you guys later.
Yeah.